Hello, everybody. I am here with Michelle Glockling. I am so excited to have you here. So, Michelle, tell us about your business and really what inspired you to start it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. So, my business is Dorbii Inc. I actually started 5 years ago as Dorbii Bookkeeping Services and have grown into this fabulous multi service business that supports other businesses. Organize and grow, which is my tagline. We started as bookkeeping and I was helping out a friend, and it really truly grew organically. I found out through this business journey that I'm very solution based, and when I have somebody that comes to me in a need, I'm like, let's find a solution. So it really grew from there. I helped a friend sort paperwork, and then I went a little bit farther and did more detail. And she's like, wow, can I just pay you for this? I'm like, why would you pay me? She's like, well, that's like bookkeeping, right? And I was like, I was completely oblivious that bookkeeping was its own full entity. Like, I just assumed accountants did that and people just called it different terms, like, really, until I started truly investigating. So that's kind of where I started.
Love that. You've been running the business now for 5 years. Is it what you thought it would be like? And be honest with this. Because, a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm ready to dive in.
Oh, I am all honesty here. It is easier and harder both at the exact same time. I had a conversation today with a client who came to me in a panic and needs some cleanup work. And we had the exact same conversation. It's like, I would never at this point be able to be an employee of another business. I work triple the hours. It is stress in a different way, but it is still like an exponential amount of stress to run a business day to day, month to month, year to year through different seasons of economics and holidays and all that kind of stuff, all the different complexities of business. But I wouldn't change it, nor would I change the path that got me to where I am today, because all of the things that I learned as an employee of, like, in my mind, I could run this business better. Or, like, I have all these other ideas and nobody's utilizing me. Like, why doesn't anybody see the value that I'm adding as an employee? And just like going above and beyond every day. So I started to become a little bit resentful towards management because I didn't feel valued. I was reorganizing systems and going through old files and trying to make things more efficient. Always, like, I had it in me to be an entrepreneur. I was in this very closed box mindset of, like, well, if you run a business, you have to have like a business MBA or CBA. I don't even know what they're called. The initials, dots, things behind your name. Like, that's the people who run businesses. That's a farce. It's the very opposite of that. Anybody can run a business, but at the same time, not anybody can run a successful business. So you have to have the right tools to understand the behind the scenes of a business, which is essentially what I do. I'm out here. I started just like doing the data, but I found out that I'm really good at reading patterns. So then I started reading the data and I'm like, ooh, it tells stories and I can put it in a chart and make it color coordinated. And I can do this all at my own time frame. I can do it at 11 o'clock at night if I want to, when my kids are sleeping. And I can wake up and take them to the bus stop at the same time. And I didn't have that flexibility to be available in both spaces, but feel like I was just adding so much more value at home and in my business. So, in short, it's easier and harder. You do have to put a lot of work in at the beginning to understand your industry. And that is what I stress to a lot of people, because bookkeeping is very much a data sorting. If you're going to like put it into one little category, it's data sorting. But there are industry specifics. Do you understand your compliance? CRA has rules for every industry. So medical is different than service, which is different than hospitality. So it goes down the line. The beauty, artistry, there's so many difference where if you don't have your own knowledge, then you have to have somebody help you. If you don't know that that person has the right knowledge, you could be paying for something that creates more liability. So as I started to tug the little string on the sweater of like, this is how it all works and how it all intertwines together, I saw a need. I'm like, this is exactly what I need to do with my skill sets of data analysis and love of charting. I can help other businesses and I can help the people. So I have this parallel that I like to call it. I started in healthcare and I pivoted over to business care. So in my employee time, I was dealing with Eyecare and eye fashion. I love glasses and Eyecare, right? We've already bonded over our love for fabulous eyewear. I really liked the people side of things, but it wasn't just the people, it was helping them with a need. I'm supporting their need to see better. They need a new prescription, which means they need new glasses, or maybe they don't. But it's so many different factors. It's their budget, it's their prescription, it's their lifestyle, it's their, all these different things wrapped into it's their style. Everybody wants to feel their own. So it's putting all these things together into a customized package to help that person then go off and do what they need to do. So I took all of that I love, and prescriptions, glasses prescriptions, for anyone that wears them knows, it's just a bunch of numbers all in a little formula. So all those numbers mean something. It tells a story. And when you put it into a frame, there are measurements, which then creates a larger story. So it does compound all together and makes this kind of like flowing system where in the end, it has to fit the person. So it doesn't really matter. All these things can be variable, but it's really the person that it ends up with. So then I like flop over to business care. I'm like, well, the business is personal to the business owner's goals, which can change and fluctuate year to year. So somebody has to be there and attentive month to month as your bank statements come out. It's kind of a really easy thing to follow if you like systems. So I started to educate people that came to me and go, oh, I just need some help cleaning up. Well, oh, okay. So we start there, but then what's the growth? How do we get you to a better system so you're not here in the same position next year? So that's kind of like the essence of how my business organically grew into something that I was really already doing. I just kind of like jumped a line. I was like healthcare, now I'm business care. And I can help so many more people on this side. And there's nobody telling me that it's time to go to the next and move on. And I can talk as long as I want on this side, and I'm really happy about it.
I love that. You're in full control of everything that you're doing and helping all the people.
Every aspect.
Right. And I think a lot of people don't see, as a coach and in your role, it's like the impact that you're making isn't just helping the owner, it's also helping all the people that they're helping. So like there's a way bigger impact down the line. But just out of curiosity, is there a specific niche that you focus on or type of business?
I love when people ask me that question. So I like to say that I just niche in business owners who are looking for better efficiencies. There are some industries that I'm not able to do. There are some industries that are better suited for like real estate has very specific rules. People with certain types of property income have certain types of rules. But in general, it's small to medium-sized service businesses who it's an entrepreneur basically handling it all. And they're like, I don't know where to go from here and I'm growing and I know I need help, but I don't know where to start. Dorbii Inc. jumps in and goes, I can help with that.
I love it.
So when I mentioned that I started as a bookkeeper and it's Dorbii Bookkeeping Services, now that I'm Dorbii Inc., I have created this essence called Business Growth Strategist. So I really look at patterns. I look at the business owner where they are. I ask them where they want to be. And my solution-based mind just kind of like plugs it all together. I'm like, step 1, 2, 3, 4, this is where we start. This is our timeline. Here's some thresholds. Here's some expectation and management. And then we just start. And, I always tell people changing a pattern or a routine, it takes time. I'm not changing this overnight, and neither are you, but we're working on it month to month, and we can set new goals. And my job is to keep everybody on a threshold and a timeline because I work off of CRA's deadlines and timelines. So it's very easy for me in the background to kind of take a look and say, okay, we're coming up to a deadline. We're coming up to a year end. Do we have goals? How do we want to approach this? In Eyecare, everything is be proactive instead of reactive. Don't wait until you have a vision problem to go and see your optometrist, because a lot of the time the damage is already done. So if you go for that routine eye exam, there's a lot of health things that can be caught ahead of time and then managed, and it doesn't get to an extreme circumstance. So I look at everybody's books as a medical chart. So what is your health status as a business? Do you know what everything says up to the last month? So when I started doing cleanup, I'm like, there's got to be a way to explain to people the difference of like just constantly scrambling compared to like just doing the bookkeeping. So I've started to call our services maintenance. Two categories. It's very simple. This side's a good side. I'm left-handed, so I prefer the left. Left side is good side. We are maintenance bookkeeping. That means everything is caught up to the last 30 days. Over here, we don't want to be on this side. This is rescue work. So it's two. You're up to date and you know what your numbers are. If something drastic happens in your life, which always affects your business, and a lot of the times vice versa, people say business is business. Come on. There's a business owner. You're a person. There's a person behind the business always. There's goals. There's dreams. There's I want to shut it down. I want to start a new one. I want to expand. Like you want to do things. So don't stay in this like, well, my accountant tells me that I did really good last year, but do you have anything at the end to do good with? No, because you didn't know. You spent it or it got soaked up in expenses because we weren't watching those patterns and we weren't watching the flows. It tells so many things. Like it doesn't always have to be exponential growth. Growth doesn't mean like you have to be, you have to have another employee and then you have to have another location and then you have to have another product. It could just mean like your schedule is full and now you're adding more value to the people that you already have instead of, that extra store. You could take an extra vacation. Like it all depends on what you see as success and what you value. A lot of the time now we work so hard. We want to have that balance of that thing that nobody has ever says, work-life balance. Like, but it is a thing. You can make that happen.
Yeah, you can.
So it's making decisions and having people in place so that your business is running effectively and compliantly, which means you can sleep at night and you have less liability if in fact you get called for a random audit. If you have to keep your data for 7 years from the time that you file and you don't have your data sorted, you could spend hours, days, weeks, and they're sitting there in the background going, hey, if you don't give us this data on time, there's penalties, there's arrears. Like they're in your life and they're up in your business and nobody wants or needs that in their life. So it's, reducing your liability and keeping yourself in, a manageable state with the things that you do that have clients wrapped around them.
It makes so much sense from a business, but also a personal perspective. It's like if you're the business owner, the last thing you want to do is scramble and look for all of these pieces. So having somebody on your side that's going to take care of that for you, and it's just like one less stressor that you don't have to deal with is huge. So
yeah, there's a lot of kind of like, horror stories in my industry where my bookkeeper retired and I needed to find my end of year paperwork for my new accountant. And I don't know, like, did they give it to me? I have had new clients come on board with me and then work with an accountant that I trust. And we found that they gave her the printout paperwork, but it wasn't filed on CRA. So she was actually like 2 years in CRA's eyes. She was 2 years behind on filing. So these people are moved on or retired, moved to a different country. Like they don't have liability on their names anymore. They're closed up shop. So it is always on the business owner to be able to produce that. It's not people have this thing, oh, well, my accountant takes care of it. But do you know what they're taking care of is always the question.
Every time we speak, I'm like, I need to look into these things a little bit deeper because I'm always like, I'll message my accountant. They'll figure this out. So
always light panic with a smile
exactly.
is the general feedback of my essence when I talk numbers.
I love it. All right. Well, going back to the business side a little bit. So as you were growing, and I know you've again been going through this for a bit, but was there a moment where you thought, this isn't going to work out. I should close. There's so many ebbs and flows in business.
Yes.
But like, what happened to you when that happened, and what made you decide to keep going?
Yeah. So this is going to be probably relatable to a lot of people just because of the nature of what I do. So my business is bookkeeping for other businesses. I was not really bookkeeping for my own business. It got to a point where the bookkeeping became a little bit more of just like helping a friend. I was more serious about it. And I got caught I love QuickBooks. I'm a QuickBooks Pro advisor, but I call it the QuickBooks trap because they market things really great to say that like anybody can run their own books and it's super easy. It is absolutely like kudos to them for marketing. It is not just a DIY. It is absolutely not. So I was putting things in. I did their training program. I'm like, yeah, I'm a bookkeeper. It's great. And then I had a client who wanted very specific documents and then asked a source for help because I was like, oh, I've not done this before. And they're like, have you done XYZ? I was like, I don't even know what that is. They're like, you shouldn't be a bookkeeper. I was like, oh my God, I need to close up. This is absolutely insane. I'm like dealing with other people's lives. Like it was like very drastic for me. I like didn't sleep for a couple days. I was like, so I had like a sweat mustache. Like this was real. And I was like, I should not be doing this. This is not right. And I took a breath and I called my friend who I was doing her books. And I'm like, I'm doing things wrong. She's like, actually, you're really not. Like I've dealt with other bookkeepers. You're not completely off your rocker. You are doing a good job. You're doing what you're supposed to do. So let's just like figure things out. So I said, you know what? When I was in my Eyecare world, I had little letters and dots behind my name. I was a CCOA, so I was a Canadian Certified Optometric Assistant. And I take training and knowledge very seriously. When I was like growing up, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, I just want to know everything. Like I love learning and knowledge and being around people that are going to expose me to things that I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I tell people in my workshops and when I'm talking to them, you only know what you know. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people from different industries, your same industry. Make sure you're like, at least aligned or understand where you are in your industry. And it just came to a point where I was like, okay, I love what I'm doing. I can add value to people. So I'm going to go and get proper education. So I signed up for Mohawk College continuing education, bookkeeping level 1. And I tell you, I got a story for everything I do in life. My professor started off this online program by telling us all, I really don't like computers and I wish I could just like write on my whiteboard. He spent half this time being like instructed by us because he was using Excel wrong and he kept getting stuck in a cell and stuck in a formula. So I bought the textbook. I have it on my shelf. I learned a ton of theory and I'm like, okay, I'm already running my business for like 3 years. So I have like real life questions. I'm like, this is perfect. He's like, well, that's level 2. I'm like, but I'm running a business. So like, can you just ask me this? It's not like a theoretical, it's like real life. No, you have to wait for level 2 for that question. I'm like, what am I paying for? So I learned that just because somebody has a certificate of something doesn't mean they're always going to be a premium level instructor or person in their industry. So I did a lot of my own self-training through the book and I learned my accounting standards. And from that, I learned if you do not know the difference in an accounting software between 5 things: equity, liability, asset, expense, income, and how to maneuver those through the system, you should not be doing your own bookkeeping because there were so many little nuances that make a difference to how that reports. Right. And if you have somebody at year end who's just taking what you give them and plunking it in, if that ever comes up in a review, like it opens everything up in a review. The rest of the years get opened up in a review. And it's like, what is happening? Oh, I did my own books because QuickBooks told me to. So I have like added a lot of education into what I do for my clients, but then offering workshops. I talk to a lot of small businesses and I say, these are the things that you should be aware of. And if you're not, find support or learn that for your business.
Yeah.
It's not about, oh, well, I just have to pay somebody because I'm at this level and now I need a bookkeeper. You can have people that help you one time, periodically, educational wise, or just like take that task away from you so that you can then do more in your business. I have taken over books personally from people with the full accounting program. It took me 6 months to fix everything in there. There are good and bad in every industry. There's, bare minimum. There's people who use a program but don't understand the program. So there's lots of different layers of business ownership, and you can do everything. You absolutely can. But if you want to grow a successful business, you literally can't do every single layer of your business. So it's about being effective.
You got to outsource when, it's about being honest with your actual skills.
Yeah.
And I say a lot of the people that I work with, they're, trained at what they do. They're really
Mhm.
good at it, but they don't know how to run a business. And even if they're learning things on the side of the desk as they're, helping clients or whatever
Yeah.
at the same time, they're trying their best. But at the end of the day, there's so many people like yourself that are out there that are skilled and actually know how to do things and faster and better. And at the end of the day, it's your time is money as well. So it's, you
Yes.
think that you're saving money, but if you're sitting there and you mess up your books, you know,
It's more
good luck.
costly. And
Yeah.
I say something very similar to that is when you own a business, your bookkeeping, one, it is its own industry. It's a transaction. It's a transaction of your time to do your books, or it's a transaction of your money for somebody to efficiently do your books.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the bare minimum, if you do not understand the CRA compliance in your industry, you should not be the only person doing your books. You can put everything in and be efficient, but the person that's reviewing that data and doing your reconciliation to make sure there's no errors and inconsistencies, that person, whoever that is, could be your mom or your sister or your spouse or a bookkeeper or an accountant or whoever it is. You have to make sure that they understand your industry, they understand your business goal, and the CRA compliance around it.
Yeah, that makes total sense. All right. So, what's something that people don't see as being a business owner? So, again, they think that it's, we post social media, we're, at networking events, we're doing all these things. And people think, it's so easy and you're just so natural at it. But there's so much behind the scenes that people don't see.
I'm a very confident person and I love putting myself out there. I will tell you, every business owner is second guesses themselves. Every business owner is nervous tummy butterflies before they step into the next networking meeting. Every business owner has those moments of, do I give up? Is this even frickin' worth it? We all have it. And it's life is about decisions. But what I learned, I honestly truly, if it were not for the pandemic, I would still be selling glasses out there. I had a following. If I left one clinic, I had a couple in the city. I've been in Orleans, I've been in Westboro, I've been Central. I had people follow me. They're like, "Oh, where's Michelle now?" And they find me because it's about the people connection for me. So
Oh, yeah. I would follow you for sure.
right?
In a good.
My mom will actually Skype me in Hamilton and be like, "What do you think of this one?" And we have a whole like meeting to ourselves. It's so cute.
I love
But
that.
you can pivot at any point of time. It like I'm in my 40s. You can pivot at any point. You can pivot in your retirement and be like, I want to open up a whatever business. There is no set timeline. There's no box. There's no like, this is the path you're supposed to follow to get here.
Right.
What I have learned, and because bookkeeping, I get to experience so many different industries and people and skill sets. Everybody can do it, and you can do it with help, and you can pivot if you get into something and you're like, this is what I thought it was going to be, because social media made it seem so much better. You can
Yeah.
pivot and do something else. You can be like, you know what, I tried out being an entrepreneur and a business owner, and I actually really don't like it. And I'm going back to be an employee and do my 9 to 5 or my weekend shift work. And I'm fine with that because we need people at every level to help community. It's about like taking a look at where you're at and what you're comfortable with, what your values are. Like everything I do is based off of, is this best for my family? If I go this route with my business, is it going to benefit us? Because I stayed home and away from the 9 to 5 because I wanted to be with them. So if I'm in this business now and I start going back to just never being around, is that even really worth it? Because I am working more hours and more time. I would really just like to be comfortable with supporting the family. It doesn't really matter what the dollar amount that comes in. It's just about being comfortable. So if that's what my goal is, then that's what I'm kind of always working towards. So pivot when you need to and like really follow your gut. If you feel like there's bad juju, there's probably bad juju. So professionals you work with, if you feel that, if you go to the doctor and you're like, I don't really like the feedback that they gave me, or I feel like they were kind of dismissing how, like my ailment or how the reason I went there.
Yeah.
You go for a second opinion. You ask family. You're like, would you follow this? Like, maybe I should talk to somebody else. Do that with your financial people in your business. If you're getting feedback and you ask questions and your accountant makes you feel dumber than when you called, like that is not the right juju for you. Go find new juju.
Oh, yeah.
Find somebody that explains things in the right terms. Some people are good. Like, I don't care what my accountant says. Like, okay, fine. Some people really want like that bedside manner and they want to feel like they're on a team, and the people that are filing taxes and numbers with the government understand the goals and what their values are and kind of where you want this business, because there are lots of horror stories of my accountant swindled money and my accountant filed this thing and now I owe $10,000 in taxes. Like, fun, because then when you get in that situation, you already don't trust that person. So now you need to find somebody to go and fix all of this, right? So if you start growing in your business and the people and players you have in place no longer align and they make things more difficult, then you can get new players for your team. Your business has grown in a different way. So it doesn't mean that they're doing things wrong. It just means that they're no longer compatible with your growth pattern.
Yeah.
So when I say organize and grow, I mean it in like so many different layers. It's physically organizing data and growing your business, because organization means understanding and growth. It can mean, that on a personal level, I'm organizing my thoughts and making a list and then executing, just small little differences to organize what you need a solution out of.
Yeah.
And then growing from it, because that's fun. Who likes to be stagnant? Yuck.
Well, that's it. And something that I've learned on the coaching side of things, working with business owners, is that a lot of them, when they come in, I'm like, okay, so do you have money left at the end of each month? And they're like, I don't know that answer. I'm like, okay. I'm like, how are you making decisions on what to do next if you don't know your numbers and actually what's happening? And like you said, there's patterns. You can see exactly what the story's telling you or what the data's telling you as a story. So it's a matter of getting that information from the right people, clean data. There's lots of bad data
We
that
speak
exists.
the same language.
Yeah.
I love it when you talk numbers.
Well, it's true, right? I mean, you shouldn't make any big decisions as a business unless you know if you can afford it, if it makes sense. Like, there's people that are hiring because like they think that they're doing so well, but it's like they're actually leaking somewhere, or they're hiring for the wrong service because they could be doing better somewhere else. So there's a lot that it tells you, and people just really need to have their pulse on it as leaders and entrepreneurs. But what keeps you going through the tough days as an entrepreneur?
Honestly, learning that I will never reach everybody that needs a solution. There's just so many people. Every time I insert myself into a new group, I love to network. So I co-run a networking group in Ottawa called Good Vibes. Like, obviously I went to that one and then I inserted myself and now I co-run it and do all the organization. But every new person that ends up crossing paths, They're like, oh my God, I got scared at what you talked about. Like I scare people, but I'm like, I have a solution. I had a call this morning with somebody who is now on board. We're ready for maintenance. And I'm just so glad I found you. And then the meeting after that is somebody ready and like, oh my God, I should have reached out 6 weeks ago instead of crying myself to sleep. Like everybody just wants to do their best
Yeah.
and ready for solutions and help. And I am just a very loud voice and I'm an advocate for community and connection. People want to help people. And I want to show people that there are people that want to help people. You don't have to be alone. By the way, networking is not really like the gross, icky thing where, you just walk around with business cards and you're like flash dating with strangers that you don't really want to date. There are groups where you're going out for coffee and you're learning about other people's strengths and weaknesses. And, are there patterns? You can talk and vent and like, my partner doesn't get it because all they do is, do their own construction and they come home, they don't understand the entrepreneur side.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's all there's so many moms, like shout out to the moms who are looking to come back from being that, household manager. Your skills are transferable in so many ways. Like just take like your child out of it and like put like, your husband or somebody that a large person that you take care of.
Yeah.
And like, what do I do? Okay, I make appointments. I follow up to make sure they got there. I know where they are at all times. I know what they ate for dinner. I know their schedule. I can read their face. If they feel yucky, I can predict when they're about to throw up. Like, you don't think you can use that in an office somewhere? Like, when you're building your resume, don't worry about where it is. Like, in your skills, I multitask and manage up to 5 people under 2. Like, I don't know what you do out there, but there are people out there that do that. So, like, put value in what you are already doing. Go to a networking meeting. Like, there are some that are free. You don't have to be a business owner. You can just go and be with like-minded people and learn who is making differences in the community. There are a ton of women-only groups in the city. It's really great if you are in the area. Like, take advantage of what you can find. Mom groups too. Like, figure it out, ask questions. That's what I would say too. Like ask questions about anything. If you have something inquisitive, you're in a group, ask somebody. You hear somebody talking about something that you do that in your business. One of my clients today, she's like, oh, I heard somebody over talking about plant design and whether they should get the client to buy the plants. And she was like, oh my God, I do that. So she went right over and said, hi, can I just interject? And she's got like 5 people sending her emails about her design service.
Wow.
Because like if you see or hear a need and you can solve or offer solution,
Yeah.
be a human, like offer help, be that person to kind of put out those extra good vibes because karma is a real thing. You
100%.
put out and you will get back.
And yeah, connecting with more people, the like-minded, that's a big thing for me. And community is a big part of why I'm doing this video cast series, because at the end of the day, I want you to succeed. I want people in Ottawa to know, or across Ontario, to know more about you, your services, and really like why gatekeep people and the people that you're meeting. I love connecting, right? So why
no to gatekeeping, because I tell people that they're with their financials, right? Don't let a bookkeeper or an accountant gatekeep your business information. Like it's yours. You should know. And if they're not offering what you're asking for as the business owner, that should be a red flag.
Yeah.
In my 5 years, have caught more than a handful of fraudulent activities just based off of asking more questions. When the math didn't math, I ask questions because everything has to balance to 0 at the end of the month. And if a description or a transaction is out of whack, like I'm not moving on.
Yeah.
It's mine and I will find it.
Yeah, I love it. Right, Michelle, it's 2026. It's, Q2 for some people. Is there anything that you're building that you're excited about that you're willing to share with everyone?
Yes, I am actually.
Tell us.
So my upcomings right now, we're right at the beginning of April. So I'm expanding my name of Dorbii Inc. into a new community. I'm actually going to a business expo at the end of April in North Dundas, so the Winchester, Ontario area. A smaller community. I do have one or two clients on the outskirts there. So just looking to really make my name and spread my name more. And in true Michelle fashion, I have my booth buddy already set up, and we have some fun interactive things ready to go.
I love it.
I may or may not have, but definitely did purchase a wavy inflatable tube man for my booth because
Oh, yeah.
I love that so much. So I will get very parched if I do that myself for like 6 hours. So I'm going to have my tube man also do it for me for 6 hours.
So good.
For actual like interactive in the community, I am actually planning my very first it's interactive bookkeeping for all the DIYers. So our location is set. It's on October the 3rd. And we're basically going to have a PJ party for business owners who do their own bookkeeping. And you're going to bring your shoebox and everything that you need to get done. And we're going to do it all in one space. I'm going to be there to help guide. So the CRA compliance is going to be covered. Questions as you need them, answers are there, and you can be in a space with like-minded people and get your bookkeeping done. And, you know, even if it's making a connection or just like getting out of the house and getting like a handful of receipts sorted, you're going to leave feeling really good and comfortable. And it will be kind of like just starting Q4. So everybody who's like, I'm going to do my bookkeeping, and like really just can't get motivated, you can come and get motivated with me and I will motivate you.
Yeah.
So that's what I have planned. It's going to be announced, you know, within the next couple of weeks with my collaborator. So very excited to, again, educate businesses. The more I talk about one little compliance thing, the string pulls and one thing, and then everybody's like, oh, it's my thing. So know better, do better, right? So expose yourself to a professional, learn the things that you didn't know you needed to know. And then, you know, you're just going to be a better business owner and you'll have so much less work to do after the holidays because we will have that, you know, 3/4 of your year kind of at least set up in a system for you to then move forward yourself or hire a bookkeeper.
I love it. Well, Michelle, if people want to connect with you, how can they reach out to you?
So my website is a fabulous place. I send everybody there first because you can really get a sense of who I am before we start interacting. There's a lot of helpful information on there. Again, I don't gatekeep anything. All of my packages are built into a solution base. So every month you're paying for completed items, not an hourly wage. So everything is on there, www.dorbii.ca, Dorbii. I have a button here. Right there. Yay. Contact page would be great. Or you can send me an email, michelle@dorbii.ca, and we'll set up a chat and figure out how we can help you organize and grow.
Amazing. I'll make sure to link everything in the comments below.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you spending the time with me today and learning more about your business and making me more aware.
I appreciate you doing what you're doing because like we're both very like-minded, you know, sharing and experiencing people in the community, doing awesome things. It doesn't have to be somebody on TV. It's really like human to human.
Yeah.
There's so many people amazing around you. So get out there and experience and then do cool stuff like this. Like who wouldn't want to do that?
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate you. And I can't wait for your event and all the things that you have coming. And everybody, if you need a great bookkeeper and growth strategist, reach out to Michelle.